I just sat down and wrote down the 10 most important tips that came to mind for reloaders. That's what I'm going to share in this video. Hey guys, Gavin here from ultimatereloader.com. This reloading setup might look familiar to you. You might not even know where from. That's right. If you go to any newsstand right now that sells Hodgdon's annual manual, you'll see this awesome RCBS gear collection. This is a 6mm Creedmoor setup on the cover, and we've actually got an article on how to build your own Ultimate Reloader bench system. So we're going to use this as the backdrop for this video. I literally just came up with the first 10 reloading tips that I thought every reloader should know. Number one is the Loctite bullet trick. That's right. When we do precision reloading, we want to know the bullet seating depth that corresponds to the bullet just touching the rifling, right? You extend the bullet from the case just where it stops at the rifling. That's our datum value. We might seat it 20 thousandths of an inch deeper than that so that the bullet moves 20 thousandths of an inch before it engages the rifling. There are multiple tools on the market that will help you determine this measurement, but perhaps the simplest way, I think I saw on Peter Milan's channel, Impact Shooting, is to take some blue Loctite, liberally coat the inside of the case neck for a once fired case. What you want is a very, very slight slip fit, and barely put the bullet in, and then chamber it in your rifle, wait 5 to 10 minutes, and it will pretty much glue itself in place at that at-lands distance. Now you can take, if you have a very consistent bullet, the cartridge overall length value, or better yet with the comparator, do your base to ogive distance and then reference your bullet seating depth based on that. Super easy, probably something that you can do with stuff that you have on hand. Okay, number two is every reloader needs to have some blue tape on their bench. I'm such a big fan of this. I have a dispenser with multiple widths here. The tip here is to just take a piece of blue tape and write your powder. What powder do we have here? We have Stayball 6.5. So we're just gonna write that on the blue tape, and then we're gonna put it on the powder dispenser. I'm gonna put it on the back so you can see it here. Okay, so that's gonna stick there while we're reloading. I have plenty of room here on the front. It reminds us what powder we're working with, which is great, but critically, when we go to empty it, we know that we're gonna double check, oh, Stayball 6.5, Stayball 6.5, that's all good. Now, when we empty it, we can just take the blue tape and put it on the powder canister. You can see we already have one there, and I'm gonna put this back on because after I do this video, I don't wanna get confused and put the wrong powder in the wrong canister. That could be catastrophic. Tip number 3, use a SAMI spec case gauge. Some case gauges on the market have relaxed internal dimensions, or actually expanded internal dimensions. They're relaxed when it comes to checking cases, and that can give you a false positive on the chamberability of your shell casing. So if you use a SAMI spec case gauge, like this RCBS chamber gauge is what they call it, it comes as a part of the Supreme die set. You want to drop it in, and because this was cut to SAMI spec tolerances and dimensions, this is below the back. Now we know for certain that that's going to chamber in our rifle, and that gives us peace of mind. Number 4, when you're done reloading, make sure that you save a dummy round and seat a bullet in a case if you need to. Write on the side with the Sharpie what it is. This is going to be a great way to quickly and effectively set up a seating die that you might move to a different press or use from a different set, whatever that happens to be. And it's also a great reference if you're using something like a comparator to take measurements. Number 5, always use a powder check. Whether it be a visual check that you are very religious about each time you pull the handle on the press, or a fancy electronic system, or even something like the RCBS lockout die, which is a 100% mechanical system that will lock up your press if you have no powder, not enough powder, or too much powder. 6, if you're trimming rifle brass, by all means use a 3-way cutter. If you don't have a three-way cutter, you're going to have to trim your case to length. Then you're going to have to chamfer the inside and the outside of the case mouth to remove those burrs. That's a lot of extra work. You can accomplish the same task all in one pass with a three-way cutter. RCBS makes a three-way cutter that's adjustable, and you can even buy the cutter aftermarket, and it's possible it'll fit on other brands of equipment. That's the way to go. 7, I just encourage you to keep it simple. Focus on the fundamentals. Don't get distracted by processes or other prep steps, other loading steps that aren't going to help you achieve your goal. If you're loading hunting ammunition, no need to clean your primer pockets or uniform flash holes, right? Unless you're competing in a bench rest competition, you probably don't need to be worried about those things. Now, there are some things that are a bit reassuring or cathartic or fun. If you have the time and you want to spend the effort, it makes you feel better, that's great. But I always suggest keeping it simple, and that includes manipulating only one variable at a time. Say you shot some groups and you're not happy with them. Try adjusting the powder charge, or the powder type, or the bullet that you're using, or the bullet seating depth, but don't manipulate multiple variables at one time because you'll never know which variable contributed to your success. So by keeping things simple, you're going to make your life easy and you're going to have something that's inherently more enjoyable and repeatable. Number 8, keep your records straight. If you're the kind of guy that wants to have your laptop on your reloading bench, open up a spreadsheet and record your load specifics. And record your chronograph data, record your group sizes. What I like to do is to get a manila folder and set that aside for a particular load or rifle project. So if it's a factory rifle, if it's a rimfire, I'm just going to have targets in here most likely, with little notes on the targets about maybe what velocity I was observing, and obviously I can record the groups. If I'm doing a rifle build and loading, I'm going to have the SAMI diagram, I'm going to have my tin and print, I'm going to have my chambering records, I'm going to have my load data and my targets all in one place. I'm pretty religious about writing on the target at the range when I take it down off the backstop. What was I shooting? Was it suppressed, or was it with a break? Was it with a bare muzzle? What was the load specifics, right? All of that data can really help you. Sometimes I even write the chronograph data next to each group that was shot, right? Keeping records, invaluable, because I go back to these records frequently. And in fact, we're likely to start digitizing these records by scanning all of the pages so that from anywhere at any time we can access this critical information. Number 9, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. This is something that I've heard talked about on the racetrack. It's true. It's a little bit counterintuitive. If we want to get something done quick, we tend to speed up, but sometimes speeding up causes us more damage and more harm than good. If you can slow down to the point where you're conscious of each step in the process, you're going to make less mistakes. If you're loading on a progressive press like the RCBS Pro Chucker or something like that, each progressive press likes a particular rhythm. It might like you to stop at the top and let the powder drop. It might like a certain cadence and a certain speed and a certain dynamic when you're indexing the shell plate. These are things where what you want to do is figure out what the machine wants or what the process wants and just give it what it wants. Because to speed up will very often result in mistakes, frustration, and very well might slow you down. And number 10, I don't know, this maybe should be number 1 if we were doing this in order, is optimizing your workspace. We have this Ultimate Reloader bench system, right, that I mentioned, and that allows us to space our equipment and to, swap out stuff. We only have the stuff on the bench that we're using at that particular time. That's really critical. We preserve a good bit of space for the manipulation of the loading block and to have room to do, different processes and have tools placed nearby, but not things stacked on each other, right? Kind of like the clear desk is a clear mind kind of thing. Now, I know some of you like to have mess, like to have clutter. But just to take a moment before you start to arrange things, to make sure you understand where everything is placed, will likely cause you to load better ammunition, and you'll probably enjoy the process better as well. Well, those are the first 10 things I thought about as important tips for your average reloader. What I'd like to know is, what did I miss? If you have a top 10 list, what item would you put on that list that I did not talk about in this video? Drop that comment and we'll start a discussion in the comments section. Thank you very much for watching. That concludes this video, and that means it's time to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're watching Ultimate Reloader on TV and want to take advantage of free resources, exclusives, and hot deals, just hold your camera phone up to the QR code, tap on the link, fill out the information, boom, you're getting Ultimate Reloader emails. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, where we've got unrestricted content, and Instagram. Make sure to follow us on all those channels. Ultimate Reloader also has a commercial solutions division serving law enforcement, the military, and the gun industry. We have some unique capabilities, including a comprehensive suite of recoil testing and evaluation capabilities, trigger profiling, and more. Thanks again for watching.